Happy Monday, everyone. Oh, we have a good time ahead of us today. We'll be doing a little thruster sandwich from Saturday to today, so I hope you didn't get your fill of them on Saturday because they're coming back today. But before we get to those, let's talk about our warm-up. Our warm-up is going to consist of a heel elevated squat with 3 at 3-1-3 tempo, heel elevated goblet squat hold for 10 to 20 seconds, right into 3 heel elevated goblet squats at a 3-1-3 tempo. So you come right out of that hold, right into 3 more goblet squats to work on posture position. Now if you don't have an elevation surface, that's fine. You can use a flat-footed surface and just rock those squats as is. If you do have something to put your heels up, that's about 1 inch to maybe 2 inches high, you can work on a little bit of heel elevation to work on. Making that squat a little bit easier takes a little pressure off the ankles, so it allows you to get a little deeper perhaps, maybe stay upright, but it'll also help try and stretch out and open up those ankles just a little bit more. Now after that, we're going to work on some calf raises for 30 seconds. You can load those or not, that is up to you, but we'll talk about that as we get going. I'll hit that for 2 rounds. Primary focus now is going to be working on opening up your overhead and that squat. So we have our plank to down dog for 3 to 5, front squat for 3 at 3-1-3 tempo, into a tempo thruster for 3 reps at a 3-second eccentric. So we're going to slow the down of the squat down so we can really get in a good position before driving up at speed into our press. So we're going to work on that, building up to our loads. We're going to work a jump drop for 3 to 5 reps and then a vertical power jump for 20 seconds in sets of 3. So we're going to work that skill in sets of 3 over the course of 20 seconds. You can bank as many as you need to. You can take breaks in between those 3 reps, long breaks, short breaks, it's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. So, to get you there, we're going to hit this up for about, let's say, 2-4 rounds, maybe get a couple good rounds of that work in there to get your heart rate up, and then the work set. The workout is 21:15:9, so it's not very long. The workout's going to be pretty quick. You're going to take down thrusters and box jumps. The thruster can be with a single dumbbell, it can be with 2 dumbbells, it can be with a barbell, depending on what you have access to. It's meant to be pretty light, so we should only have to kind of break down that 21 in about 2 sets, maybe the 15 in 2 or 3 sets, the 9, hopefully kind of grit it out and go for all 9 straight through. But we want to find a load that we can move well and fast, that's going to get that heart rate up and make those box jumps or those box jump options a little extra challenging. So we'll chat about that as we go, but we're not looking for a heavy thruster. We're looking for moderate to light. Now let's warm you up, let's get you ready, and have some fun on a Monday. Let's get those feet under those hips. We're going to take the arms big and tall up overhead. We're going to reach it over to one side, a little side bend. We'll stretch it over to the other side. We'll come back down, and forward fold, touch those toes, walk up the shins. Nice flat back. We're going to come back down and frame our foot. We'll step it back into a lizard. Nice and square in those hips. Take that inside bend all the way to the ceiling. We're going to rotate, forearm down to the floor. We'll come back up. And then we're going to rotate, forearm to the floor. Come back up. And then one more time, rotate, forearm to the floor. And back to the sky. We're going to plant the hand. We're going to take that outside hand up to the ceiling, big reach. Plant that hand. We'll step back into the down dog. Reaching those hips nice and high. We're going to walk those heels nice and slow. Just get those feet ready for what's to come. And that is a good sign. That's what's coming their way. We're going to come back into a plank. We're going to step the other foot up. Nice and square. Inside hand's going to reach to the ceiling. We're going to rotate. Forearm to the floor. Come back up. And rotate. Forearm to the floor. And back up. And rotate. Forearm to the floor. Back up, plant the hand, outside hand reaches to the sky, plant the hand down, we'll step back into our down dog as we reach those hips again, nice and high. We'll walk those heels super slow, feel out those feet, make sure they feel pretty good. We'll come back into our plank, pressing the floor away, tiptoe those feet all the way up, slowly roll ourselves up our body with a big old stretch. Big reach and stretch to one side. Reach and stretch to the other side. Bring those hands back down. Whew. Let's get ourselves ready to roll on it. Now, if there's any extra movement you'd like to take down, before we start working on some of those squat movements, please pause the video, take that down, or even some upper body stuff, some band work, take that down as well. We'll make sure you're good to go here. But besides that, let's get you ready to go. Let's grab our weights, let's get maybe our heel elevated surface, and get our squat on. We're going to kickstart off our day together with some heel elevated squats. Now, if you don't have an elevated surface, like I mentioned earlier, it's all good. You can do these all in a natural squat stance, hip to shoulder width apart, and those flat feet. It's trying to keep our weight through the midfoot. And if you do have an elevated surface, what we're looking at is we're looking at getting the laces, so that midfoot, on the edge of the surface that you're using. That is going to allow us to have that nice, slightly narrower stance, those toes pointing straight ahead, and we're going to keep that nice upright posture. So with this elevated surface, we just have to fight the urge of leaning too far back so our toes get pulled up, and or fight the urge of leaning too far forward so we're in our toes. We've got to stay centered right over those laces. Now with our squat, the squat mechanics are the same. We're going to draw the hips towards the heels, taking our time, 3 seconds down, maintaining engagement at the bottom, and then pushing through those feet and standing up nice and tall. So we're going to work through those good squat mechanics, nice and smooth, staying tall and upright, and pushing through that midfoot to stand nice and tall. From there, once we're done 3-3-1-3 tempo, we're going to grab our weight. This doesn't have to be super heavy, but we're going to do a gobble squat. We're going to hold the dumbbell or kettlebell at the chin. We're going to push into that weight. We're going to stay as upright as we can, taking it down, and we're going to hold this position for 10 to 20 seconds. Now in this, I'm staying centered over top of my laces. My toes are feeling contact with the floor. My heels are elevated, so they're not quite on the plate, but I am staying active. I'm not disengaging at the bottom. Once I hold that position for 10 to 20, I'm going to move into some goblet squats. Same mechanics, same positioning. We're just going to move at a 3-1-3 tempo for that movement set. Now that is going to be a little spicy on the legs, coming right out of that squat hold. Try and go right into those 3 squats with that tempo and use that burn, that fatigue that your legs have created in the hold, and use that movement to help them recover and move that through. So try your best to fight through the burn, but make sure that if you do need to take that moment, you take the moments, or squats are beautiful. Now after that, we're going to move into some calf raises. So we're going to come off of the plate. We're going to bring our feet under our hips, toes straight ahead, and we're going to we're either going to hold some load, goblet to the front, suitcase, whatever you want, or not, and we're going to push onto our toes. So our big toe and pinky toe are balanced. We're going to touch our floor down, come back up. And we're going to work on staying balanced in our body and through our through our toes. Now with this, it's very common that we tend to roll out. So we want to make sure that we're not rolling into the pinky. We're keeping our feet flat. We're pushing into that nice square foot, and then we're lowering with control. Now something I also like to play with every once in a while in classes is when we come down from that calf raise, is as soon as those heels touch, we press up. So it looks something like this. We push up, we control slow, touch and then press up. We touch and then press. We touch and then press. So we're lowering at a nice, smooth, controlled pace, but as soon as we hit that heel down, we're back up onto our toes. And that challenges that foot a little bit, keeps a little bit more tension in there, and it does work our balance. So if you're like, you know what, I'm getting better with these calf raises. I kind of want to go a little bit smoother and it's just touch and go. Give her. All right, have some fun with it, but make sure our balance is there. As a quick recap, we have a heel elevated squat for 3 reps at a 3-1-3 tempo. Heel elevated goblet squat hold, 10 to 20 seconds. Heel elevated goblet squat for 3 at 3-1-3 tempo, and a calf raise of 30 seconds. So just working nice and steady, or pausing at the bottom, loaded, unloaded, whatever you'd like. We got 2 rounds of that. That's going to get that lower body really primed and ready for squatting. We're going to come at you for our next phase, which is going to get a little bit more movement focused to our workout and get you ready for action. Our next phase is going to kickstart off with our plank to down dog. So something we normally start our day with. We're going to start our work set here just to open up our upper body. We focused a lot on our lower body, but from here, my hands are going to be just outside the shoulders. I'm pushing the floor away a bit, pulling the ribs in. I'm going to keep pushing into the floor,
as I pull those hips back and up into the down dog. So really reaching those hips. I'm going to come back through into that nice plank, pressing the floor away, and then pulling those hips back into that nice down dog. So really finding that good position in that plank and really working to maintain that good shoulder position all the way through, because it's going to come in handy as we start moving into that overhead with the dumbbell or the barbell. So really take the time just to feel out those lats, open up those hips a bit, and get those shoulders fired up. Our next exercise is our front squat, and we can play around again if we're using a bar, doing this with a bar. If we're using a dumbbell, we can use the dumbbells. We're going to clean that apparatus up to the shoulders. So if we're using a dumbbell, the back of the dumbbell is resting on the shoulder. The dumbbell here is on a nice 45, so we have to use our core to kind of stabilize and maintain to help build that strength when we do have a bar in our hands or other apparatus. If we have a bar, the bar is hopefully resting on our shoulders in that really nice front round. Now from here, we're going to take some nice smooth squats down. 3, 2, 1, working on that good position. Again, same kind of focus as our goblet squat, so our hips are going towards our heels, our knees track the toe, and our weight is staying flat through the foot. Once I've finished my tempo front squats, I'm going to use that tempo thruster. So it's going to be a 3-second down, 3, 2, 1, change directions, big press overhead. So I'm using that good squat position at the bottom to stand nice and aggressively with the dumbbell moving and press overhead. So again, 3, 2, 1, big press, finding that good overhead position, ribs are in, elbows straight, and in a perfect world, that arm is slightly behind the ear or even with the ear, depending on our shoulder range of motion. So we want to make sure that we're trying to shoot for the best overhead position we can, and that includes that elbow being locked out and that nice overhead with the ribs in. Now, you can use a single dumbbell, double dumbbell, barbell, whatever you're planning on using in this. Basically, all those mechanics are the same. There's just a few differences in terms of how we hold the dumbbells to the barbell, but we want to make sure our front rack is stable and solid. Now from there, we're going to work on some jumping mechanics. So we're going to work on a drill. I personally love this drill. It's a great way to start building the activation and the absorption of impact for the jump. We're going to work on the jump drop. So we're going to come up onto those toes, pushing into that nice calf raise. Arms come overhead, and we're going to pull ourselves down into this power position. So I'm landing with those knees slightly out. My feet are flat. I'm trying to land soft and quiet, kind of like a ninja, so that we're not getting a lot of impact up through the body, but we're pulling ourselves down quickly and aggressively, but not with a lot of kind of vibration and or impact up the body. So we're going to hit 3 to 5 of those nice and smooth. So I'm going to do 2 in a row for you so you can see what they look like. I come up onto the toes, I hit my balance, I come down, I stand, my feet might come in a bit if they move a little bit, which is totally fine. Reset, come back up, and stand. So it's not a fast cycling of these reps. I want you to think of doing 3 to 5 singles and making sure we set up really well on each one, because we want to make sure we're balanced on the toes so that we can pull ourselves down with efficiency. Now after that, we have 20 seconds. We're going to set up our vertical power jump, sets of 3. So from here, this jump drop, we're setting up that rebound position for the vertical power jump. So we'll set our timer up for 20 seconds. For myself, I like to keep my eyes slightly forward and down on about a 45 degree. I find that helps keep me in the same place and I don't jump around too much or travel. But what we're looking at is we get 3 good jumps, swinging my arms in a power position. And I work on absorbing on every single rep. So I'm not landing with a lot of impact. And on that 3rd rep, I am still landing as if I was going to do a 4th jump. So I'm always thinking about doing the next one. So I'm landing soft in that good solid stance, absorbing that impact. I'll do 3. I might rest a couple seconds, take a breath or 2, and then do 3 more. Rest a few seconds, do 3 more. And I'll do that for 20 seconds. So you might get, maybe 2 to 4
cycles through those sets of 3, you might get less. Who knows? It depends on how comfortable you are with that vertical power jump. Now with that movement, I want you guys to keep in mind, it's not about the height of jump. Okay, so in the same token, it could exactly look like this. So I'm extending my legs and hips. I'm leaving the ground maybe an inch or 2, or maybe my toes are still on the ground when I come up, like the top of a burpee, but I'm not worrying about the height. I'm worrying still about how I pull into that landing power position, not about the height of jump. If you're starting to get really good with these and comfortable, and you have the space above, shoot for height, go high, but we're always focusing primarily on receiving of the body on the floor. Now, as a quick recap, we have a plank to down dog for 3 to 5, front squat of 3 at a 3-1-3 tempo, tempo thruster for 3, 3-second eccentric, so we're setting up that good front squat to drive out of the bottom into that good thruster, jump drop for 3 to 5 reps, singles, and then vertical power jump. We're going to have 20 seconds to rack up as many as you like in sets of 3. So keep it to short, small sets to work on that rebound in sets of 3. You can hit that up anywhere from 2 to 4 rounds, figuring out your working weight, get yourself ready to go before tackling this nice quick little work set. So pause it, rock it, come back and join me. We'll talk about our workout to come. All right, you guys, we've made it to the work set. 21, 15, 9, thruster, box jumps. So if you have an apparatus at home that you're comfortable jumping on, jump on it, have some fun with it, step on it, lateral step over it, who knows? But figure out your box jump options before we start. We're gonna go through a couple right away, but we're just gonna talk about the thruster for a second. The thruster is meant to be on the lighter side, so light moderate, something you can probably take down to 21, no more than 3 sets, hopefully 2, maybe unbroken, who knows? 15, maybe 2 sets, maybe 3 if you get really tired. That 15 set is a tough one. And then the 9, hopefully we can grit through and get it in 1 set, or maybe break it up into 2. So keep that in mind. We shouldn't be breaking it up into more than 3 sets. It should be light enough that we can move pretty quickly, or move pretty quickly with a few like minor micro breaks in between. The box jump now, it's a pretty standard box jump height, whatever you have also at home to jump with. But let's talk about that box jump and some different options with an apparatus. All right, I've got my box here ready to go. Now with the box jump, we want to be about half a foot away from the box so you have some clearance. We're going to pull ourselves into that power jumping position like we were practicing, but this time we're just going to jump up onto the box. I'm going to stand up tall, step down, and get myself ready for the next jump. Now it's very important at the top of the box, you take the moment to stand up tall, and I'd prefer you to step down unless you know you have a very soft rebound. Don't jump off the box and step down. It's a much easier sense on the ankles and knees, just feels better on the joints. Now if you have an apparatus you're not comfortable jumping on, but you can step on it, you can work on some good step ups, opening up the hips, the knees, fully at the top of that step. These are unloaded steps, so I'd rather see you go faster than load them down. Or you can work on our lateral step over. But if you did the workout on Friday, you're probably not wanting to see these for a little while. But they're great. They're a lot of fun, and I hope you use them if you need to. But we're going to keep that foot stacked over top of the heel on the box so we don't have to worry about that tripping hazard in the lateral step over. Now if you don't have an option with a apparatus to jump or step on, what we can do is we can use the vertical power jump. We practice in our warm-up, and you'll hit that up in 21, 15, and 9 reps in whatever sets you can manage. Or we can work on this beautiful thing called a broad jump. So we swing into that nice power position, and we jump forward. Still landing soft, turning around, getting that jump again, landing in that good power position, trying to land as soft as we can as well. I'll have a few different other options on that workout description for you for your box jump options, but those 2 are my fave. I love the vertical power jump, and I also really, really love the broad jump. So they're not easy, don't get me wrong, but I love them. They offer a really nice little challenge, and just change it up just a little bit. It's a great way to demonstrate power output. So I hope you guys like this one, you guys. It's gonna be a gasser. It's all about those legs and hips. So make sure that you warm them up really well to maybe do a practice round and make sure you're comfortable with the jumping option with a few thrusters just to see how it feels and that we're hitting our good positions. This is gonna be one heck of a way to start off the week, you guys, so I hope you have fun, enjoy. As always, work for quality, have a ton of fun, and we'll see you tomorrow for a little bit of strength, if I do recall correctly. Bye, you guys.